Hey, it's Donny A. So the guitar neck and the notes on it are set up in a certain way, which is really cool. And if you can play something in one spot of the neck, you can always find it somewhere else on the neck. And it may be a different voicing of a chord, and it may be a different shape of a scale, but it's the same notes that you're playing. And this is super helpful to start understanding. And the one way I want to show you this is that if you have a scale and you know one shape of a scale, let's take our pentatonic scale. Well, the scale, there's 2 octaves of this scale in that one position. So you have 1 octave, and then you have another octave. Back to your first octave. Well, all of this continues to repeat. So if you have this right here, you know you're going up a minor third, or to get to your relative major, which is A. Then to get back to your F sharp, you're here. Well, if you slide down to have your index finger on that F sharp note, which is your 6 of the scale, then you can repeat that same shape again. The only thing is the B string is tuned down a half step, so you need to slide up. If that B string wasn't tuned down, all of this would be, optically it would probably make a lot more sense, because it'd be like, oh, that just keeps repeating. But that one little shift makes it look like this doesn't repeat, but it does. And then if you're back at your F sharp here, because you just went through the scale again, here on your 7th fret of the B string, and obviously there is nothing below the E string, but if there was, it would be 2 more notes a whole step away. So that all repeats down to here. If you were going to find an F sharp somewhere else on your neck, there's one down here on your 9th fret. So that's the same thing. Again, your B string shifts down a half step, and then the E string is in line with that. So, and then down here, what's cool about this is that within that pentatonic scale, which is the best scale in the world, just for beginners and for everybody. I mean, you can play it for a lifetime and never really get bored with it if you keep building off of it. But within that scale, there's more helpful shapes. Like, that's not the most helpful shape to solo over, right? But something like this is, right, where you have 2/4 on your A, 2/4 on your D, and 2/4 on your G. That box is helpful. Well, that box continues to repeat too. This note and this note are the same. So at the bottom of that box, it repeats again. That box repeats there. Well, if you go up even further into this, so this would be your form 2. This would be the bottom of that box, which isn't helpful visually because there's not strings above it. But if you went down here to your form 3, it's right here. And then if you go to your form 4, So everything just keeps repeating depending on where you are on the neck, and everything keeps shifting, right? You depending on how far down the neck you go, but it's all the same shape. So these scales, if you know one form of a scale, and maybe you like playing in this little box, and you like adding this onto it, which is the same as this box. It's just in a different order. So you're starting here, and then this would be the top of that box anyways. So those are the same notes. So if you like playing this box, which is only 2 strings, you only got to worry about 2 strings, and you're playing the whole pentatonic scale right here. 1 octave of it, which would be the whole scale, right? Well, that repeats here. If you're in your form 3, it's right here. And then you're right above it again. It's gonna shift with that B string. But then if you're back in this form 2 of the pentatonic, all of these boxes and shapes are things you need to learn. Like if you learn that I like to play this in one spot of the neck, well, go find it in another spot of the neck. And then you'll be able to expand your playing by just, okay, well, I really like this box within the form 1 of the pentatonic. Well, let me go to the form 3 and find it. Then if you find it in the form 3, you're going to find it in the form 4. It's going to be in, the form 2, form 5. It's in every form. It's just you may not be able to play every note of it depending on which box you pick and where it is on the neck. So every time you have these minor thirds, right? You have this. Well, when you go into your second position of this, or form 2, I should say, of this pentatonic, you have it right here. And then you have it in your form 3 as well. It's in your form 4. It's in your form 5. So if you know one scale, you know them all. Because it all just keeps repeating. And the guitar is just built this way. The intervals are built this way that it's all going to keep repeating. It's just going to have a different starting point, and it may look a little different, but it's the same notes that you're playing. So if you can start getting this through your head, you can move up and down the neck and be like, oh, I'm in the same box that I was up on the 2nd and 4th fret. Now I'm way down here, and I have the same box, and I'm gonna play the same licks that I was doing. It's gonna be in a higher frequency, higher register. It's going to sound cool. It's going to sound different, even though it's the same thing. It's going to sound a little different. So you're not just playing the same thing. You're not stuck in one spot, because you can realize that if you start breaking this scale into chunks, basically, okay, I'm going to look at this box, or if you want to look at the full scale, however you want to play around with it, you can realize that I can basically play the same licks all over the neck. And if you start learning that, you're going to start realizing that these shapes are the same, the intervals are the same. If you start getting into intervals, which I think is the best thing you can do on guitar, is start understanding the intervals in between the notes, then you're going to become a better guitar player. You're going to start understanding what you're playing more, because you're going to recognize the shapes, you're going to recognize the sounds, you're going to recognize the intervals between the notes. And it's going to help you out with your soloing. It's going to make you sound better, make you understand what you're doing. It's super helpful. If you found this lesson helpful, please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.